Okay, today we're going to look at the Black Buffalo Blend from Bison Union Company. Now this coffee I purchased through Black Rifle Coffee Company. It's one of their kind of partner brands. This is a great coffee. Some of the coffees we're going to cover for Black Rifle are a bit the kind of middle of the road. Like, it's good coffee, but nothing too special. There's something special about this one. And then the tankard we have today from 1776 United. This is the largest tankard they offer. It's got a nice red brick glaze, and this is their Whiskey Rebellion design. And for those aren't up on their revolutionary history, the Whiskey Rebellion was the first time the newly formed American government taxed a domestic product. They want to tax distilled spirits, and the farmers rebelled against the government because it was taxation without local representation, right? So kind of a significant moment in history, and eventually the army came out and crushed the rebellion down, and we have tax on these products now. But that's the short of the Whiskey Rebellion. Very tall. It's a skinnier mug than the rest of them, and it's a kind of tight at the top, so it really kind of throws your nose into the glass. It's also really good for drinking beer out of. A nice frothy beer. It's a little bit like a beer stein, that type of a style. Very nice, and it holds 24 ounces. They advertise it holds 24 ounces, and this coffee is just so good. Yeah, you want to taste the plains. You want to taste the bright grass, and well, it's a Thanksgiving cooked grass type of flavor. Anyway, on to our topic for today. We've got a lot of athletes are graduating college now. These seniors, they have nationals, and now they're trying to decide what they're going to do afterwards. And of course, the big question is, am I going to keep training or not? Keep throwing. As a rule, as a coach, I never tell an athlete when they should stop, when they should quit. I think throwing is a very personal endeavor, and the change that's required from you personality-wise and in your soul and your spirit, the changes required to actually throw far and become more powerful, get stronger. It's almost a spiritual experience to the point where it is very personal, and it gets very close to your heart. Just having to generate the power and grow bigger than you've ever known before, right? In order to throw these implements far. And because it's such a personal journey, if that athlete is not like on a damaging life path, I don't tell them when it's time to stop. Okay, it's up to the athlete to determine that. I think only one time in my career I've told somebody it's time to stop, and that was largely due to finances. And then another time I strongly suggested to an athlete that they were probably not going to throw any further, but that they should maybe switch to another coach, because that other coach might be able to get them to become more passionate and actually grow again. So when I talk with coaches and talk with athletes and say, hey, what are your future plans? You're gonna be done, you're gonna go to work, you're gonna keep throwing. A lot of times I get from the athletes and from the coaches. Okay, the athlete will say, I'm not good enough. I don't think I'm good enough. Or my coach doesn't think I'm good enough. My coach said I'm not good enough. I shouldn't keep training. And then the coaches will say, well, they're not good enough. They're not good enough to keep going. So I just told them that they should stop. And in my mind, this is crazy. It's so far out of the box of actually having a scientific answer for whether you should continue or not. Okay, and the biggest reason is you're just in college in the NCAA, and it's a soft, padded, cushy life. Everybody's doing everything for you. You have facilities secured, and the schedule is set for you, and you have housing and food, and you get stipends, and someone's booking your travel schedule, and they're handling all of your training, and doing all of your meet bookings for you, and reservation, and everything's paid for. And all you have to do is show up and do the work. And a lot of times that coach is having to push you through the work, right? And the real world outside of NCAA school is so different that if you don't give yourself that shot, you don't know what you're capable of, okay? A lot of times people thrive, right? They thrive when they have to do it themselves. And other times people collapse, okay? And so I hear a lot, I'm not good enough. They're not good enough. Well, but how many times do we have a good athlete in college who graduates, and yeah, they're going to keep throwing, and they fall flat. They don't do very much after college, even though they were good in college. So why aren't we also asking the question, you're not going to do well after college? Not you can't get better, but also you're not going to do well. You're going to start falling off after college because the system's not going to work for you anymore, okay? And I've seen that happen fairly often. It's because those athletes, they can't hack the real world. They can't be self-driven. They are bad at managing money. They can't cook for themselves. They don't eat healthy. And then they lose money that way because they eat out all the time. Or they're not good at having a lonely lifestyle. Ultimately, being a professional athlete is kind of lonely, right? And, they can't hack that. And they can't, they can't handle the travel and the booking and making sure their life is organized and squared away and looking ahead. And they can't stay focused on the everyday grind, to sit in training for 7 months without a competition is really hard on them. Or a really big obstacle for newly graduated athletes is in that next season, when January comes along and all of their old friends in college are starting to throw far and they're still in deep training, because as a professional you want to peak late in summer, not early in summer, late spring, right? And so the adjustment of, you are now a professional, your season is longer, your timetable is different, but they're still relating to college. They're still relating to the athletes that they knew. And because those NCAA athletes are in a different periodization cycle than where they're at now, they freak out. And they're like, well, I'm not throwing as far as I was this time last year. It's like, yeah, of course you're not. You're going to peak later, right? And they don't let themselves be in a different cycle. They don't let themselves change, right? You have to be able to change to be a professional, to keep growing and throwing. You have to change. And they get to the end of the outdoor NCAA season and they're burnt out emotionally because they're freaking out that they're not doing as well as their old counterparts. And then the summer comes and it's time for them to wake up and ignite and get those PRs and compete really well. And they don't do it. They almost quit a lot of times because they're not where they want to be or where they think they should be, and they don't accept the change that they are a different athlete now. And this is where if you want to be successful post-collegiately, the big thing, you have to leave home, you have to leave your college, and you have to start anew, right? You have to find a new place, you have to find new relationships, and you have to kind of leave behind the old, right? And even to the point of having lots of conversations and talking, and you can have those people as support, but you can't keep going back to college. You can't keep going back to what was comfortable. You have to go to uncomfortable. You have to go to new, and you have to redefine who you are as an athlete, who you're going to be as an athlete if you're going to be successful. Right? So don't ever let a college coach or anybody, a parent or anybody, tell you you're not good enough to keep training if you haven't actually given it a shot, and given it a shot in the real way, okay? I threw 18 meters once in college at my national meet. Other than that, I was pretty much, I think I had one throw over 17 meters at the conference meet, and other than that, I threw 16 meters my entire collegiate career. And nobody thought I should keep training except for one person. Norm Zalstra at Calvin College pressed me and he said, you should go train with Bondarchuk. But it wasn't with the intent of becoming good, it was with the intent of learning, right? And nobody, even myself included, I thought I was not genetically gifted enough to throw far. I truly believe that, based on the research and what other people had said, what other people said you needed. I wasn't strong enough, and I wasn't fast enough, but I just started doing it. And I left home, and I committed, and I grinded for years, and I threw world-class distances. You never know. And don't let anybody tell you you're not good enough unless you've given it a year or two post-collegiately, right? You have to give yourself that shot out of college because it's a whole different world.